Most podcasters struggle with growth, clarity, and sustainability. That's why I have created the Holistic Podcasting membership so that you can podcast with intention, purpose, and continued growth, all within our Holistic Podcasting membership. We're going to journey through the top questions that most podcasters have, which is monetization, podcast growth, social media strategies, podcast branding, audience engagement, the latest podcasting tech. This membership is for you if you are feeling stuck and you don't know how to align your podcast with your coaching business. This is for you if you want to grow and monetize your podcast. This membership is for you if you want to continue to gain clarity about your listener. This is for you if you want to gain deep connections to your audience. This is for you if you want to be encouraged and receive coaching weekly around your podcast goals. And this is for you if you want to be a part of an encouraging community. My heart behind this membership is always to bring podcasters together to feel seen, heard, and known. And my goal is to create an atmosphere of support, growth, and encouragement so that you can thrive as a podcaster. Come inside, join us for Holistic Podcasting membership. I look forward to seeing you there and encouraging you through your podcasting journey. If you are a female Christian entrepreneur or life coach, you need a podcast. And if you have a podcast, you need a podcast coach. Finding a supportive and empowering community is key to podcaster success. Through my holistic approach as a trained life coach and my experience in the podcast industry since 2016, I want to encourage you weekly through answering your podcasting questions. I'm cheering for you, and your voice matters. Well, hello. Oh, by the time you're listening to this, it is October. I would have gone to Spark Media Conference. I would have attended the awards. Thank you for all who voted. I have no idea when I'm recording this if I actually won an award, but I feel like I already won. You guys, and I don't mean to say that as a cheesy way, but I seriously am so honored to feel so loved by so many of you who went and cast a vote at the Spark Awards website. And thank you to those who nominated me, number one. And number two, for those who have cast their votes to nominate Holistic Podcasting. So I just want to say thank you. That was, it means the world to me. I hope that behind me, I have an award sitting on my shelf, but seriously, the award is in my heart. As cheesy as that sounds, it really lifted me up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. One of the most common questions that I get from current podcasters is, how do I grow and monetize my podcast? And we dive deep into these questions, these topics inside of the podcast membership, which you heard at the beginning of this podcast episode. Our podcast membership is the podcast plus more. You get live coaching for your specific podcast. So if you're a current Christian female entrepreneur podcaster and you want to grow and monetize your podcast, it would be an excellent time to join this membership, because we are going to be diving into these podcast monetization ideas and have special speakers and podcast coaching specifically for you and your podcast goals. We're going to do prayer over your podcast. We're going to talk about action steps and any Q&A questions that you have specific. You get access to me inside of our Voxer group, but not only me, but you get this whole community of other podcasters who have ideas. It is so valuable. And especially as we are rounding out 2023, right? These are the last few months of 2023. And we are looking forward to 2024 and dreaming and envisioning. There's so much opportunity for you to gain clarity inside of this membership. And the best part is, seriously, I think the community and having a podcast coach that's going to hold you accountable. I don't know about you, but most of the time, unless I have a coach or a friend asking me about my goals, whether they're big, medium, small, I tend to put it off if I don't have somebody there asking me the hard questions. So, friend, if you're podcasting and you do not have a community, you don't have a coach, I really encourage you to come inside of our membership. It is well worth it. Okay. That's my plug, because seriously, I based this whole series off of these next few months inside of the membership, and it will help you to take action on all of this education. Okay? So we're going to kickstart us off in this conversation of podcast monetization by me throwing this little truth bomb out there. Having a podcast is not a business plan. Hi, I'm your podcast coach, and my whole business is based around people starting and growing their podcasts. And I just said, having a podcast is not a business plan. Okay, let me unpack that statement. Your podcast is a tool to help your business or ministry grow. Your podcast is an avenue for people to know, like, and trust you. Your podcast is a funnel into your coaching business, your groups, your courses, your masterminds. Your podcast allows people to connect with you. Pressing record does not necessarily mean you are going to earn income in the podcasting space. This reminds me of a quote that I heard from my dear sister-in-law. She was talking about how hard homeschooling was, and it stuck with me, you guys. She said, hard doesn't mean bad. Did you hear that? Hard doesn't mean bad. And it fits with this statement of pressing record does not necessarily mean you earn income in your podcast space. It's not easy, you guys. Podcasting is not easy. You don't automatically get dollar bills flying out of the sky just because we're pressing record. There are people who are making money off of their podcast now because they have put in the work and they have a humongous audience and download numbers that only are getting higher and higher. But that is a very, very small portion of podcasters. And I will say that most advertisers are not going to come knocking at your show until your numbers hit at least five digits, 6 digits a year of download numbers. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, because I pray and I speak that over your podcast. I say yes and amen to the abundance of blessing over your podcast. But the reality is right now, most of who I'm talking to is either just started a podcast, or you're maybe a few years in and you're like, Kristin, I just hit 20,000 downloads. And that's who I'm serving. I love serving you. So we have to come up with a strategy. So if podcasting is not the actual business plan, what is? Another quote that came to me as I was preparing for the show was, I remember Rachel Hollis, she said this back in the day. I don't know if she actually started this quote, but it's been one of my favorites, is hope is not a strategy. And what that means is hope is great. Hope keeps you going. However, it's not a strategy on how to get to where you want to go. So we've got to work with what we have. We have to come up with a strategy. We have to come up with goals to get your podcast to work with your business. Most of my listeners today, they either have a business, a book, a ministry. I'm thinking of, all the people in my membership, my management clients that I currently work with, they have some sort of business or a service that you're providing. Now, aligning your business goals with your podcast is absolutely key. If you were my client, and I actually have been working with a certain client that we are aligning her business goals with her podcast. And this is where I would sit down with you and I was like, this is a show right here. This is a real question, and this is where we're going to start. We have to go back to square one. So if you are a coach, what do you currently offer? What are you teaching about? What are you planning on offering? What are your goals for your business? Are you wanting to start a group coaching program? Are you wanting to create an online course? Are you wanting to collaborate with other people? Do you want to create a membership? This is your business. We're just starting with your business. So thinking about your business, because like I said, your podcast is not the business plan. Your business is the main character in your business plan. The podcast is an avenue, right? Are you with me? Okay. So as you start to think about all these things, what are you currently offering? Where do you like? And again, I'm asking these questions again. As you think through 2023, the end of 2023, okay, there's November, there's Thanksgiving, that's the holidays. December, there's going to be people probably slow down on listening to their podcasts. So what could I offer that would help serve my listeners well during that season? So think about those questions. What are your business plans during the holidays? How are you going to kickstart 2024 for your business? And then that's when we overlay our podcast and we start to create alignment right there. You've heard me say this multiple times in my messaging. Alignment is key. You are the best investment. You are the product. It's like personal branding. You are the brand. You are the coach. You are the service. You are the solution to the problem that the people that you have been called to deliver this message to, you have it, right? So your podcast is the way that you can offer what you do, and you serve and you bring value well. So in your podcast, what can you offer to help solve your people's problems, their pain points? They are coming to you for a solution. So what are you offering? And promote your things, people. Don't be a weirdo, of course. You serve, you lead with value. You weave things in and out of your episode, like I did with the membership at the beginning. I know that I know that I know, because I'm a human and I know you're human, that accountability and being a part of community will always bring way more action than if you were doing podcasting by yourself. Just like we all know we need to go to the gym and work out, but until we're in I have to give you money to train me, my motivation might be really low. So, other options that you can consider as we are talking about growing your podcast is some topics that we're going to be diving into a little bit more deeply in these next few weeks. And these are just some quick ideas. And like I said, each of these I'm going to unpack. I'm going to unpack them even more inside of the podcast membership. So if you want specific help, if you want specific coaching for your podcast, again, I encourage you to check out the podcast membership. You get 3 weeks of 30-minute coaching sessions, group sessions, and you get Voxer access to me anytime during the week. And lots and lots of education and lots of action taking and lots of accountability. Okay, so here's your other ideas that as you're thinking of the end of 2023 and dreaming of 2024 and starting to vision board, starting to put yourself out there of like, ooh, what could possibly happen in 2024? There's a lot of open doors right now, and the time is now. So as I read through these ideas, I want you to just notice, that settled in my spirit a little or jumped in my spirit a little. I wonder what that's about. Explore it, journal about it, ask the Father about it. All right. So, number one, podcast memberships. This one is a no brainer for me. And all of these are going to be anywhere like low ticket offers, mid ticket, high ticket offers. So think in that way. How can you line these in your own business or service? So podcast memberships, podcast subscriptions, and premium content, meaning there are ways on Apple that you can release certain episodes to people who buy a premium content pass. And I'll dig into more of that in a different episode. Again, this is an overview. Another option is podcast products. Could you sell stickers or bags or a journal or a bundle of products? You could do, have you already created like a workbook? Could you do a workbook and a product? Those are some ideas. Another one is creating a course. Now, this one is a giant conversation, and I cannot wait to dig into this one. I have been doing a ton of training, of learning about creating captivating content and mapping out well-formed courses. And so I cannot wait to share that with you. So creating a course for your podcast to help people that are listening to your podcast. Another one would be building that coaching program or a mentorship program. Another idea would be doing retreats. This is a dream of mine to do a holistic retreat. I would love it. Retreats. People want to go and meet their community that they have been a part of and they have not known each other yet, and get to be with you, the podcaster that they've listened to forever. So that is another amazing idea. Creating a mastermind. Now, this is something that I'm not skilled in yet. I do know who I'm interviewing for this, and I can't wait for him to share his thoughts and wisdom, as he is a mastermind at Mastermind. So I'm excited about that one. Collaborating. This one has been coming up over and over again in my world. Collaborating with other like-minded coaches or entrepreneurs or service providers in the online space. So creating an online summit. I actually have committed to 2 in October. So by the time you hear this, you'll probably start to see me advertise for both of those conferences, for those online summits. And what is so great about collaborations is that you get to partner with other people who have expertise in their area, and the people that get to come not only get to see a wide variety of speakers and hear content, but you also are connecting their audience with your audience, and you get to see their audience and connect with their audience. It's a mutual beneficial way to connect with more people and to grow and expand your audience. Again, I want to reiterate. Is that a word? Reiterate? I don't know. Podcasting is not a business plan. It's part of the business plan. So you've got to get clear on what your business plan is. If you want to make money podcasting, you've got to have a business plan. If you do not have someone to walk you through that, I would love to do a one-off call with you and help you figure that out. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I've taught a whole course this last summer to a group of coaches about this very thing. And I think that this is the baseline for creating a successful podcast that's going to bring in revenue. And I know for most of you, that is the goal, is to bring in some sort of income so that either A, you can pay for your podcast, or you can reinvest it. I hope you can do both. You reinvest it so that you can make an even greater impact. And remember, hope is not a strategy. So let's jump on a call. Come join the membership. Find somewhere where you can have a clear goal and strategy to help you bring in podcast monetization to help you grow. All right. Okay. I think I nailed my point in well enough. I am so proud of you. Way to press record. Don't procrastinate anymore. Go press record. You got this. And then go take like 10 minutes. No, not 10 minutes. We're going to say 30 minutes. And I want you to just write down the things that came up for you during this episode and how could you implement that into your business and your podcast in these upcoming months. All right. I love you guys. You know I'm praying for you. Bye. Thanks for listening to Holistic Podcasting. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, leave a review and tell me why you loved this particular episode. I would love to hear from you, friend. And as always, happy podcasting.